First of all, congratulations, Pearl.
Thank you.
What made you want to go on this journey and join the Masked Singer in the first place?
Um, this just happened to come at a point in my life where I had a lot to prove to myself. I had been kind of out of the spotlight for about 2.5 years,
Hmm.
and I hadn't told anyone why. But I had a pretty good health scare, a lot of post-COVID long haul stuff, breathing, high blood pressure, asthma, and I also broke my leg. So I just had I had all this stuff come at me, and I was just in the probably the worst shape physically than I had been in a long, long time. And so for about a year, I was sitting there almost depressed, just going, "Oh, it's probably over for me. I'm never going to be able to breathe right again. I don't know how
Yeah.
I can do what I used to do." And then I finally got good doctors. I started getting on the rebound, getting the weight coming back down, breathing better, getting everything under control. And then they asked again. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that they'd ever ask again. But this time I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to prove to myself, is it time to hang it up? Or do I have another 5, 10 years of a career ahead of me? This is going to be good. This is going to be challenging. But
Hmm.
if I can do this, then I can do the rest of it. So that's why I said yes, honestly. Pretty selfish personal reasons.
Well, and you did it. I mean, did you envision yourself going all the way and winning?
No, I didn't. I thought that I was strong enough of a contender to go pretty far. To make it to the final six, though, wasn't anything that I was even anticipating. I was just really going to be proud of myself for having given the effort and
Yeah.
going out there at my age. I'm not as young as some of these contestants that go on the show. They've got a lot more energy than I do. I'm approaching 52 years old. I've been through quite a lot in the last few years, and so for me, it was about showing up. It was about saying yes to something that was a little frightening to me, something that I had no control over, something that I was just going to have to go with the flow. I'm not going to know what's coming. I'm not going to know,
Yeah.
pretty different from the way that I've done anything in the past. I'm
Hmm.
usually such a control freak. I mean, most women are. We have to be in our lives,
Yeah.
but this I had to just kind of just let it all go and say, I'm game. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, I had no expectation of winning. I knew I'd go far, but no, I thought that Boogie Woogie had this thing from the minute I heard him sing. I thought he had it wrapped up.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, when
all the way to the last minute. I mean, to
wow.
the last second. That's I think why I almost hit the ground was because I
Yeah.
just was not expecting that.
I was going to say you nearly collapsed when they announced that you had won.
Yeah.
With everything you've been through, what did that moment mean?
It it was actually pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Again, just because in my opinion, Boogie won. Like if I were voting, it would have been him. And so I just first of all wasn't expecting it, and then the second thought that went through my head was, oh my! Like I actually just did this. Like this just happened. It really was. And not much shocks me in
Yeah.
in my life, but it was a pretty shocking moment. And then there's just the confetti and the
Hmm.
hosts, the judges, and everything. So it was just bliss. Like it was just
Yeah.
bliss. Oh, and now I sing you my song. The song that
Yeah.
put me on the map. So.
Hmm. And you have a piece of pearl still with you. What was it like performing with that costume and that mask? And by the end, did you feel really comfortable moving around and singing as Pearl?
So yeah, in the beginning it was so not comfortable. It took
Yeah.
forever to get me in and out of it. It was itchy, it was hot, it was don't move too far this way or you'll just keep going because the head weighs more than you do. Yeah, it was crazy. But every time I stepped into Pearl's suit, I became Pearl. I
Mhm.
became this alternate person, this that's always been here. It's always been me, but I've always been kind of afraid to let her out,
Yeah.
and so the moment, even just putting one glove on almost just makes me feel a little more glamorous,
Yeah.
a little more like Miss Pearl. And that's what they called me. It wasn't just Pearl, it was Miss Pearl,
Mhm.
Miss Pearl. And so it changed how I felt about myself,
Yeah.
and I think from the experience, I'm going to take some of that with me. I feel like I learned a lot about myself being in that costume. I'm a little less afraid now to step outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to, Pearl's probably going to end up having a moment in my regular tour now.
Okay.
I feel like it's given me an opportunity to bring some different styles and genres of music
Yeah.
into my live show.
Yeah, why not? I say bring Pearl along for the ride.
I say so too. Maybe not the head,
Yeah,
but
maybe not
just the
the head.
gloves.
Maybe not the head. It's been, almost 2 decades now since some of your biggest hits. Did you wonder, because there's so many different people that go on the show, did you wonder if you were going to be recognized by the
Yes.
judges or and the audience?
Yeah, I had that question. I probably asked 2 or 3 times to those closest to me, my
Mhm.
publicist, my hair and makeup artist, is like, are we duping them? Like when we get to the end of this, if I do win it and the head comes off, are they going to be like, who the hell is that? Like that worried me a little bit. But I feel like country music, especially my generation of
Mhm.
country music, is on such a comeback right now. I've got friends that are my age that are telling me, well, my teenage daughter had a sleepover the other night and they love country music. And I was like, yeah, who they listening to? And I named off a few that, no, they're listening to Brooks and Dunn. They're listening to
Wow.
Travis Tritt and
Yeah.
they like that 90s and early
Hmm.
2000s country sound. And I've had a lot of friends tell me that. And that's why I decided, well, if I'm ever going to get back out on the road, if I'm going to continue my career, I got to get out there now. I've got to get this thing going because this is the time for it. It seems to be, I feel like country music every 10 years or so, the pendulum swings back, very
Hmm.
traditional, and then we swing back to a wide open pop, modern rock, country, anything that
Yeah.
everything goes. And then it'll swing back to very traditional again. And for right now, we're in that swing, and the music that I made, my friends made, the Big and Rich and the Kenny Chesney
Hmm.
and that whole thing. It's really kind of making a comeback. So I'm just happy to be
Yeah.
along for the ride.
I was gonna say, I mean, you recently also appeared at the ACMs and the Road, and now obviously the Masked Singer. So do you feel like it's also a comeback moment for you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like I did a lot of soul searching and a lot of
Mhm.
praying when I was, hurt and down and physically unable to get out there and do this. And yeah, that's what I prayed about, and what the answers that I got were, yeah, you're just not done yet. It's not
Yeah.
time. It's not time to hang it up. There's still more to do. And I honestly, I don't feel like that I've done. I don't feel like I've gotten to my real purpose in life yet. And I know
Yeah.
that that may sound crazy, but I feel like that this voice and the career and all of the things, they're little stepping stones, but there's something much larger, I think, that my creator still has in mind for me. And
Hmm.
all of this is necessary to get to that moment. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep putting my, one foot in front of the other until that shows itself. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe what I am doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is all, and that's all I'll ever know. But what I know for sure is that I'm not supposed to just be sitting here twiddling my thumbs, not just yet.
Yeah. And we first came to know you as the redneck woman, and now people will know you as Pearl. What would you say has been really the evolution of the redneck woman, and how would you describe her now?
Well, the whole original reason for writing the song and for being the redneck woman was that I wanted to show women like me, women that are from the kind of small town, middle America that I'm from, that you count,
Mhm.
and that you don't have to be a movie star. You don't have to live in a high rise, and you don't have to drive a Cadillac. You can live in a single wide 12 by 80 mobile home. You can drive a truck, and you can be just happy as a lark, just raising kids and being a wife. If that's what makes you happy, then you are being the best you. I was trying to speak to women like that, just to let them know that, hey, I'm my best me, and I'm a redneck, so that's, just be your best you. That part of me will never change. And I think Pearl very much was very similar to that, just in a different way. Pearl did not take no crap. She just let it all hang out. She
Yeah.
was very bouncy and very bubbly. She had nothing to hide except for her face, obviously. But Pearl's very much the redneck woman too. She classed it up a little bit.